Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. And it's just Marco here once again, and I am here today to review a movie that I was really excited about seeing, which is a rarity nowadays. And excuse me, the reason why I was emphasizing that I'm so excited is because I knew I had to burp and then it didn't come out and now it just came out. But I am here today to review Caught Stealing. This is a movie that for some reason, I don't know why, but they played this movie's trailer in Superman and I think Fantastic Four. And it was so strange because, you know that the people who see Superman are not going to see this movie. You know, like kids and stuff. Like, this is not really a kid's movie. I don't really know if I would have enjoyed it as much as a kid as I do as an adult. And so, it was really strange seeing the trailer for this movie in front of Superman. And the other strange thing is that they kind of they do the modern trailer thing where they show the entire movie in the trailer, and unfortunately they kind of do that here, and it really is kind of shitty because they give a lot of the movie away, and they give away way too much. And they kind of make them, to give them credit, they did kind of make the movie seem like it would be another thing, but it wasn't that thing. Which I guess this could be a spoiler review. I don't really know because I make these movie reviews with spoilers ... And I have not gotten a complaint so far about oh, well, you're spoiling the movie. Well, no spoilers. I thought this movie was really good. I would recommend you go see it, and I would recommend that you have a good time at the movies because that's what this movie is. It's a good time. It's not fantastic. It's not life-changing, it's not like a masterpiece, but it's a very good time. It's a great summer movie, and it's honestly one of the top movies that I've seen all year because the movies this year have just been complete garbage. And I will get into the specifics of why I liked the movie and also talk about a couple of things I didn't like. But first, I thought from the trailers this movie was going to be like a Bonnie and Clyde type of movie. Because Zoe Kravitz and Austin Butler, they are the romantic leads of the movie. And they work really well together. They both have kind of the same shape of face. Like their faces are shaped in a certain way where, they look very similar to each other, and they also both have similar types of eyes, where even though he doesn't have eyeliner on, I don't think, Austin Butler, the way that his eyes look, they're very dark, and so him and Zoe Kravitz, they pair really well together on screen, and I was thinking, oh, is this going to be like a Bonnie and Clyde type of thing, where, because they spoil in the trailer that the best friend, he turns on the main guy, and so I was like, oh, well, he's going to have to work together with the girlfriend, but no, Zoe Kravitz gets killed 30 minutes into the movie, which was a big surprise, and I thought that was awesome, because here's the thing that I loved about this movie. I loved it. And in fact, I might put this movie as the best movie of the year simply because this is a movie where it's all about one person being self-sufficient and doing the job themselves. It's not about a guy putting together a team. You know how in every superhero movie, like, the superhero has to have a team? You know, like, oh, we're going to have to put together a team. You know, you think about Mission Impossible. Okay, we got to get together the team. You know, even in Superman, the bad guy of the movie has a team. He has a team. He has a team of people that he shouts orders at, and they're all high-fiving each other and drinking beers together, and it's like, look, teamwork is good, like, but here's the thing. We need to stop having so many damn movies where it's all about being on a team. And it's really, I think, because of Hollywood, because Hollywood is so focused on, like, okay, we gotta have, like, 1,000 people working on a movie, and everyone has their own little thing that they do, and it's just so queer. And this is one of the only movies, if not the only movie, where it's just all about one guy, and he's got to do what he's got to do. He's got to survive this. He's got to get through this adventure. He's got to escape with his life. He doesn't have the ability to, you know, say, like, okay, let's go put together a team. You know, let's go recruit people, and let's go, you know, form a team, and we can have a team meeting and shit. It's like, no, he does everything himself, basically, in this whole movie. And it's like, wow, you never see that anymore in movies. You know, you never see that. So it was really, really refreshing. In fact, the more I talk about this movie, the more I'm starting to actually like it even more. So maybe this movie will actually age better than just like being a pretty good movie. So that was the big thing that I loved about the movie. And I know it's kind of like a small thing, I guess you could say, because, you know, I mean, there's lots of other things about the movie, but, like, it's a big deal for me because, as I said, it feels like I could go back. I can watch, like, older movies. There's tons of movies where it's just about one character. They're the main character. It's their story. They go on the adventure. But nowadays, we got to put together a team. What about the team? Got to think about all the teammates and team members. It's just, I'm sick of that shit. So you don't get any of that in this movie. In fact, the only times where you think that there's going to be like a team, it goes horribly wrong. You know, which actually, I will say that, like, I would love to see, I think Matt Smith is his name, like the British actor from Doctor Who and Morbius. He was rocking that what do you call it? The mohawk. He had this badass mohawk in the movie, and I was thinking, like, I would love to see, like, a movie with him, like, shooting up bad guys and shit, like, with other people or something. Like, his character looked like a video game character or something that you go on adventures with. But anyways, another thing that I loved about the movie is, and I heard this it might have been just a week or a couple of days before I saw the movie, they compared this movie to After Hours. After Hours is probably Martin Scorsese's most underrated film, aside King of Comedy, which is the best movie of his that's underrated. Not of all time. Keep that in mind. But After Hours is a really good movie because it makes you feel like you're in the movie. It makes you feel like you're the main character. It's all about this guy who just gets in a series of incidents, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And it's about him trying to survive through the night in New York. And it's so, so good. It's so creepy. It's very fun in a weird way. And it's also very frustrating. And this movie captures that After Hours feeling although it takes place through like a series of days, like up to like 5 days or something. Like it's a crazy, it just goes on and on and on, this movie. And I'll tell you guys something, I was so invested in what was going on. And I love movies like this where, they feel like it's just all in one day, or it's this big, long adventure where, you don't get any breaks at all. Like, there's no time in the movie where it's just like, oh, here's the cute little coffee scene where the character, or if they do have like a coffee scene where like the characters are relaxing, it gets fucked up immediately, and you're like, uh-oh. And it's so good, it's so fun, it's so it's a great character movie too. I also love movies where they let men be sorry, they let men be men and women be women. That was like a tongue twister. Like, they let men be women be women. But like, I loved how the journey of the main character in this movie, how he goes from just running the entire movie to being like, okay, I'm gonna have to fight, I'm gonna have to stand up against these people. And I thought it was such a satisfying movie. Like when you string things out like that for like a whole movie, and then you get the payoffs at the end, these characters who are real pieces of shit, evil people getting their dues. It's so satisfying to watch after the stuff that they do this whole movie. They just keep killing people, and it goes on in such a good way. And I'm trying to think of what else I could say. And I love baseball, too. That's something you guys probably don't know about me, is that I love baseball. I think baseball is super underrated. And so the fact that this movie has baseball in it, I love it. What was that shitty Denzel Washington movie? Oh, yeah, Highest to Lowest. That movie had, like, hints of baseball in it, but they didn't really even have any baseball. But this movie had full-on baseball. It had balls, it had bats and shit. It had a baseball helmet. They had helmets in the movie. So it actually felt like, okay, this is nice to see some baseball and not just see like fans in uniform saying like a certain team sucks, straight to the camera, like in that shitty movie. So, but anyways, we're talking about a good movie here. And I will also say, I was a little worried. There was a part in this movie where I got really worried. And it's because the main character, Hank... Is it Hank? Because there's a lot of names in this movie. I just want to make fucking sure. I swear to God it's Hank. No! No, that was the friend. No. Oh, wait, no, it is Hank. Okay, never mind. Okay, Russ was the friend. See, there's so many names. At least they all kept on getting killed, so it was like, the more people got killed, the less names you had to remember, you had to memorize. I just think about being a reviewer. You gotta sit there, you gotta be like, oh yeah, I gotta remember like all these names to do a review, or else people act like it's like not a professional review or something. They'll be like, oh, well, you called that guy the mustache man, so I don't like your review. But anyways, where was I getting at? Oh yeah, there was a part where I really, really worried, because I was like, okay, this is a Hollywood movie. And I was really, really worried because the main character, Hank, he hooks up with... Well, he doesn't hook up with them, but he decides as part of his, final acts of, taking all these bad guys out, he's going to give all the money... Because the whole movie's about how his neighbor, he is staying in his neighbor's place, and his neighbor is the British rocker guy, and he has a key that he hid in the apartment that is for a storage unit with like millions of dollars or something. Yeah, millions of dollars. And it was all supposed to be split up between these different gangs. And just the rocker had to leave or something like that. There was some conflict that happened. And so, but anyways, Hank decides to team up with one of the gangs. And knowing that this is a Hollywood movie, he teams up with the Jewish gang. And, the gang, they were very, very much like old-fashioned, like, they had the beards, they had the hair, the hats, and the outfits and everything. And I was like, oh God, like, because the whole movie he was working alone. And he never could get it to where, someone helped him or anything. And all of a sudden, the one group of people that helps him, it's like, okay, this is Hollywood bullshit right here. But in the end, it was proved to be another bullshit thing where they were also really, really evil, bad, very, very hypocritical, not real good Jewish people, but just a terrible, terrible group of people. And I was glad about that because I just thought it was super weird that like all the other gangs in the movie were painted as really evil, really bad, traditional gangs, but then the Jewish gang, at first they made it seem like, oh, this is the good gang. And I was like, okay, this is a Hollywood bullshit right here. But no, it's actually, there's another twist with them. And there's a really, really badass part that happens with there's this whole great suspenseful sequence where it all takes place in a car between these three characters. And it's probably the best part of the movie because it was so suspenseful and it was such a good payoff. And it felt like, yes, this is the movie of the summer. And it is definitely a movie that I am glad that I paid to see. And, yeah. And I don't want to make it seem like I was saying the Jewish people are bad either. I'm saying that it stuck out that, like, at first they made it seem like, oh, this gang is really nice. Like, they took the main character, they took him to, like, a family dinner and shit, and they're feeding him and they're trying to protect him, and it's like, God, like, this is like weird, like it reminded me kind of in the Warriors, where the Warriors decide, a couple of them, they're like, yeah, let's go get some poontang. And they go into this all-female gang house. And it's like, oh, look, it's the Lizzies. And it's like, oh, they're really nice and they're hot and they got curly hair and shit. And women with curly hair would never do anything wrong. And, but no, they were evil as hell. They tried to kill them. That was you don't mess with the Lizzies and the Warriors. Which, by the way, The Warriors is another movie you could compare this to. Super bad as well. These are movies where they feel like they all take place in like one night or one, like it just feels like a long drawn out adventure that never ends in like a really, really intense, awesome way. So I'm trying to think if there's any other good things to say. I love the music. I love how the movie looks. The main guy, he is definitely a leading man. He looks like a leading man. A classic leading man. Okay. But overall, again, I love this movie. Oh, yeah. The other thing I wanted to say, if this would be the perfect double feature with Honey Don't, which is the movie that I watched and reviewed yesterday, which was an abysmal train wreck. And that movie was made by the lesser Coen brother and his wife. And, of course, it was an agenda movie. It was really bad. And it felt like a student film where they were trying to recreate and copy the Coen brothers style. and which is really bad because it's like, if you're a filmmaker who and your work feels like you're copying your own work, that's really, really bad. I mean, that's like the lowest of the low. Well, this movie, funnily enough, this movie feels like a Coen Brothers movie, kind of. It feels like a typical, like, it has a lot of funny stuff. It has quirky characters. It has a lot of randomness. It has a lot of twists. It has a lot of suspense. It has good action, but not like too much. It has just the right amount to where, there's a lot of realistic action and stuff like that. And so it's funny because watching this movie, I felt like this should be the Coen Brothers movie, and the other movie should be whoever made this movie, Darren Aronofsky. Is that who that? I don't know who that guy is. I don't think I've seen any of his movies, but like I need to now because he did a really good job with this movie. But yeah, it's really shocking. Like if you showed someone both of these movies, both of like Honey Don't and Caught Stealing, and if you ask them, hey, which one of these movies do you think was directed by one of the Coen brothers? Everyone would say this one. No one would say the lesbian agenda movie with Chris Evans and Margaret Qualley for the millionth time. Aubrey Plaza, she's in terrible movies. Any movie Aubrey Plaza is in is bound to be terrible. Sorry. She, for some reason, like, anything she is in is just automatically bad. But anyways, a couple of the things that I didn't like about the movie, there were a couple of times near the end where, there were certain crimes going on in public spaces, and it just kind of felt like a video game or something, the way that characters got away with them. I'm talking about, like, just going around shooting people and, doing that kind of stuff and getting away with it. I thought that was kind of weird. Like, they could have taken a little bit more care and consideration into that. Number two, speaking of number two, there's a really gross part in the movie. And listen, like, there's been a lot of gross stuff in movies nowadays. Like, a lot of gross parts. I don't know why. It's like a weird thing. Like, Hollywood, you never used to have this kind of gross stuff in movies. Like, you'd see Psycho 1960, and, you'd see Janet Leigh. She's hot. She's got a weird haircut that looks like something that a 1930s grandmother would have. And you never think about how she goes to the bathroom. You never think about how, like, she okay, I don't want to get any more grosser, but like, you never think about, like, this like gross everyday type of stuff. But this movie has a scene where the main character digs through his cat's cat litter. That was gross. And then number two, the gangsters later in the movie, they pick up the litter box and they dump the shit-filled litter all over the floor. And to be honest, like, you can smell the movie. It was really gross to me, like, that stuff. And it's like, see, this is the difference between modern movies and old movies. In old movies, you see Janet Leigh. I don't know why I'm just talking about Janet Leigh. I don't even like Janet Leigh. I mean, does anyone know, by the way, if anyone's watching, does anyone know, has Janet Leigh ever been in a good movie besides Psycho? Because I saw, like, on Tubi, I saw a movie with Janet Leigh. I clicked on it, and it said, this movie doesn't work. Try again later. And I said, yeah, That's a bad sign. Okay, that's Janet Leigh. Okay, and so you'd see Janet Leigh in an old movie. You'd see Janet Leigh, and you'd see a bathroom and a toilet, and you didn't put you didn't put two and two together ever. Like it wasn't ever like, oh, like I wish we could have a scene in this movie where we get to see Janet Leigh go to the bathroom. You know, like that never crossed my mind when I watched Psycho. You know, like I did like seeing her take a shower, but that wasn't even her, it was a body double. But like nowadays in movies it's like, oh well, you will know the bathroom habits of these characters. You will see, you will hear, and you will smell the gross out crap. And I don't know which scene was worse, honestly, like the cat litter scenes and caught stealing, or the scene in Honey Don't, where, spoiler alert, if you care about seeing that terrible trash movie, the main character, she is cleaning her sex toys with a scrub brush after presumably having used them, and you can just see remnants of you-know-what all over some of the certain toys. It's really, really gross. I don't know why that like this gross stuff is in our movies nowadays. Like it's gotten so gross, and not in like a sexy way. Like there's nothing sexy about being gross. Like this movie, I will give it credit. This movie has a very grungy, grimy aesthetic. And I love the fact that this movie had such a strong, personalized aesthetic. And this is exactly what I try to do with my movies, is that, you know, each and every movie should have their own aesthetic. Movies shouldn't feel like they're the same, like, you know, unless they're a part of a series. Even then, why can't, like, movies be different? Why can't they be separate? Why can't they have separate feelings? Separate, like, you know, just everything about them. Like, this movie really, sets itself apart in the aesthetic, the poster, the trailer, the art, the costumes, the music in the movie. Every single thing about the movie feels like one aesthetic, a very, very specific type of aesthetic. And I really appreciated that about the movie, because movies don't do that nowadays. They're all cookie cutter, you know, they're all products, they're all content that comes out on streaming services to appeal to Gen Z. You know, like, oh, hello Gen Z, do you want to watch a movie where you don't actually have to watch it and you can go wash the dishes while you watch the movie? Well, don't worry, because there's 5 new products coming out, and they all can be watched while you're in a completely different room. And the scripts are bad because, you know, all the characters are telling you what and that is a literal thing, by the way, that's happening in movies nowadays. On Netflix specifically, is that they're specifically tailoring and targeting Gen Z people who are too retarded to watch the television screen. They have to go in another room, they have to look at their phone, they have to do other things while they're watching a movie. I could understand listening to a podcast, like this podcast, for instance, but watching a movie and doing other things is like the most disrespectful thing that you can do to a movie. It's basically like saying, like, okay, like, this piece of art, would you go to an art show and not actually look at the art on the wall and say, like, oh yeah, I glanced at it? Like, what kind of fuckwad would do that? A Gen Z fuckwad, that's who. And so, again, if you're Gen Z, hopefully you will see this movie as well, though. I mean, I'm not saying that this movie is bad for Gen Z. This movie is good for everyone, as long as you have good taste in movies. Caught Stealing is probably the best movie of the year so far, simply because it's not about a team. I'm sick and tired of the teams. I'm sick and tired of, like, oh, we gotta recruit people now. And we got to put together a team. It's like, I do not care about a team. I just want a main character, a bunch of bad guys, and I'm good. And you know what else is great about this movie? Characters die. Characters die and they don't come back like it's a Marvel movie. Characters die. There's actual stakes to what goes on. It doesn't just feel like, oh, well, that character will just come back at the end. No, people die in this movie. And the main character, he is in real danger. So yeah, I would highly recommend this movie. It is definitely worth your time. In terms of food, I gotta say, yesterday... No, actually, I'm not giving this movie a snack wrap. Yesterday, I actually went to McDonald's and I tried the snack wrap. Safi was hungry because Safi has been eating lunch at 11 a.m. Very, very early. Very, very odd choice. So she gets really, really hungry before we even have dinner, and then she has to have a snack, and then she has the dinner, then she has the dessert really early. It's a strange schedule. But anyways, I'm trying to think of like what could be good enough for this movie. Because this movie honestly deserves a great review. It deserves the best review. Okay, I will say, this movie was a surprise. I was surprised by how much I liked this movie. I did not expect to think like, wow, like this is like the best movie of the year so far, best movie of the summer. I never would have expected that. So, and I'm still trying to think of a review. I was stalling there. I was like, oh, I have something, wink, wink, and I'm still stalling as I'm talking. Shit. See, this is the hard thing about doing a review by yourself, is that if you stop talking, it's what they call dead air, and it means that Gen Z will die if they don't hear something within the next 10 seconds. You know, they will not be stimulated. And I know that I sound harsh, by the way, but I actually have an old friend from high school, and I was showing him clips of my movie, and I've seen the way that he is. I showed him Texas Chainsaw Massacre. All that fucker does is look at his fucking phone. He cannot get his fucking eyes off of his fucking phone. It is so damn annoying, and there are a lot of people like that. That like, oh, like you put on a movie and like they can't even bother to actually watch the movie. And it's so fucking irritating. It's so bad. And so like that is who Netflix is catering to nowadays. They're catering to people like him who don't even have the respect to pay attention to what they're watching. So anyways, shit, I still don't have a review. Maybe I should just, like, give this movie, like, a burger and shit. A burger and fries. It's a burger and fries. That was such a lazy-ass review. It's a burger and fries. Well, actually, no, okay, I will say, Steak and Shake has been doing a lot of weird things recently. You know, they're catering to a certain political demographic. They're being very divisive and very, very like attention seeking on social media. But one of the good things that they've done recently is that they have now replaced cooking fries with oil with cooking fries and tallow, beef tallow. And their fries are really, really good now. They are fantastic. And there was one time where Safi and I don't know why we did this. It was another, like, snack type of deal. And I was like, you know what? Now I have to sneeze. I can't believe it. I was in the middle of a food review and I had to sneeze. No! But, we were just in the mood to get, like, a shake and a fry. Some fries. So we each got, like, a small fry and a shake. Safi got a banana shake. And I got a plain old vanilla shake. And surprisingly, the fries they might be some of the best fries that I've ever had from a fast food place. They were hot, crispy, fresh. They did not taste like, like the McDonald's fries, where they sit around under like a hot lamp or something. They were really, really nice. And the vanilla shake was also pretty damn good. The thing is that a lot of people, they judge you for liking vanilla ice cream or liking anything vanilla. But when you're in the mood for a vanilla shake, there's nothing better than a vanilla shake. And you know what? Zoe Kravitz is a chocolate shake. So this movie is a vanilla shake and half of a chocolate shake, fries, and also a giant cheeseburger. This movie is a satisfying pick-me-up meal. Oh, that's not really a pick-me-up. It's more like pick-me-up off the ground because I fell over from eating too much. But, this movie is just... It's everything that you could want from just going to the movies, escaping, having a good time. And again, I would highly recommend it. I will probably watch it again. I'll probably have Safi watch it later in the year. And yeah. So anyways, lastly, I bet everyone who got through this review, none of you are Gen Z. But if you have managed to get this far, and you're Gen Z or not, I have a Patreon. It is called the Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies Patreon. And if you like what you see on this channel, well, guess what? The Patreon has tons and tons of upcoming videos. Bonus videos, movie reviews, TV reviews, commentaries. Whoops, I didn't say that. And then behind the scenes videos, because yes, I am a filmmaker myself. I'm somewhat of a filmmaker myself. And I am going to be releasing a short film at the end of October on Halloween fucking day. And I'm going to be releasing weekly or bi-weekly or monthly vlogs on making my various projects. I'm very, very excited about all that I have going on. And no matter which tier you join, you will get your name in the credits for at least one film or show project that I am working on. Now, how could you beat that? Getting your name in a Marco Carlson production. That's just like, you couldn't ask for any higher honor. I'm just kidding. You could probably ask for some higher honors. I mean, if Bryan Cranston made a Patreon, that, and you could get your credits in his. If you are interested, the link is in the description. Now, for my usual shit, please like this video if you liked it. And please comment and tell me what you thought of Caught Stealing. And then please subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more honest movie reviews. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.